Hey, what's going on everyone? Hawks21 here, back with another Splinterlands video. So I'm here on my Twitter, if you don't follow me here yet, right here at Hawks21 Gaming. Talk about the game here, obviously. Slowly building up a bit of a following here, so that's always fun, getting into some nice conversations here. My Twitter isn't the point of this video. We're going to scroll down real quick and take a peek at the roadmap. This was just released. It covers the first 3 quarters of this year. In this video, we're just going to walk through it. You can see sort of my text here, little spoilers, how I feel about it. I'm not going to spend too much time diving into each individual one or each individual item. I'm going to talk about it a little bit from a high level standpoint, and there'll be follow-up videos as I dig deeper into some of these things. But for now, just want to sort of zoom out and talk about the roadmap as a whole. Before I get into that, I am Hawks21 and I cover Splinterlands here on the channel. If you are new to the community, it would be amazing if you could just take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. A lot of people who watch this are not subscribed to my channel. If that is one of you, it would be greatly appreciated if you could just do that. Come join the family, join the community, as we keep talking about Splinterlands. Okay, so first off, from the highest of levels, I am very happy with the setup of this roadmap. As I said here, there is no fluff here. It is all core deliverables, right? Everything here is core to what they've promised, what they've been talking about. We're not getting lost in really small details here in this visual. It is all high level, what they're going to deliver, and when they plan on delivering it. So from that standpoint, to me, it shows a team that is refocused, re-energized. They know what's important. They're going to be working on what's important. There's not a lot of, empty stuff here. All of these things are, in my opinion, key. So we're kind of just going to go through quarter by quarter, talk about what's in them, and see if anything interesting comes up. So first we're going to talk about Q1. So all of this stuff here, Q1, if you're not familiar, would basically be the 1st of January until March 31st. So we could expect all of these things by March. So that's a pretty tight time frame. Let's see if they can deliver. So DEC batteries, I made a video on this. DECB, we don't have to talk about it that much. I'm for it. It passed. It's happening. That seems to be coming soon. So hopefully that can soak up a ton of DEC. We've seen the DEC price rise a little bit in response to it passing. Frankly, other things have made it rise before too, but nothing's really made it stick at that new price. And I'm not expecting this to be the perfect silver bullet. But hopefully as these sinks and things start to add up, we can keep the DEC price a little bit more consistent. That obviously remains to be seen. Next, we have season rentals. Personally, I'm very excited about this. I would almost call this, for me, a quality of life thing. As you know, previously I sold most of my Untamed cards to get ready to take advantage of the promo sale for Chaos Legion. And so when I do play and I try to play at the highest levels, I need to rent in Modern some of these Untamed cards while they're still in Modern, before Rebellion comes out. And it's a pain when you're renting multiple cards across multiple splinters to have to go in and check each day and remember which cards got canceled, which cards you aren't renting anymore. And a lot of times the key card that you thought you had rented was canceled, you didn't realize it, and then you get into battle, you try to go play that card, and then you're scrambling to go try to get it from the market before the time's up, or the new price is terrible, and you had locked it in at a good price and people canceled it, which is fine. I do that as well when I rent my cards out. But having this optionality to not have to deal with any of that, if I want to rent a llama for the entire season, I can do that immediately. And I know I'll have that every single battle for the entire season. I don't have to check. I don't have to keep track of everything. If I'm renting 30 cards, 40 cards, it can be a lot to keep track of day over day, remembering which cards fell off. So, if I can go in and rent these key cards for the entirety of the season at a price that I'm comfortable with, then that's an absolute no-brainer for me. And it makes it easy for if you're renting cards out as well. If you can lock in a 15-day price or 16-day price, however long that specific season is, right away in one day, and not have to worry about it, not have to keep checking the price, not to get any like price wars with anyone. That's pretty cool. That's awesome. So let's move on. Another group additions by set. This is really cool. So there's some tools to do this outside of the Splinterlands game. But for now, if you want to keep it all in-house, you sort of have to make other accounts, right? If I want to build a silver deck to rent out the cards, I have to keep that on a different account. Now, assuming that, I can sort of designate cards in a set on the site to be like, all right, I'm going to build a separate little silver deck that I just want to rent out to someone. That can all be done. Hopefully, this is what that means, right on the Splinterlands site. So again, other places you can do this at, but anything that they can bring in-house and make it easy, less clicks out of the Splinterlands site is good. So this is cool. This is just a nice, they labeled it perfectly, quality of life. SPS validators, I haven't spent a lot of time talking about that. That might change soon, actually. But for now, a lot of it is sort of outside what I like to call my circle of competency that I've mentioned before. This stuff isn't for me. But the one thing that is here that's interesting is the SPS delegation. So this is key to some of the stuff moving forward. This is one of those stepping stone block ones. And how I understand this is when they've talked about being able to, like, quote unquote, stake SPS on other players, you should be able to rent staked SPS or rent delegated SPS, however you want to word it. And we'll talk about that more in Q2 when we get to that one. This is sort of the start of that functionality, right? Bulldog recently made a video on this, so I highly suggest going to watch that. And I might make some content surrounding it as well. But just this is key to SPS utility, what the future of SPS is going to look like, and what the future of the game economy is going to look like. So seeing that we're going to have progress on this in Q1, before March, that's pretty cool. So excited for this. Land, awesome. I was wondering if this was going to creep into Q2, but, they've had time to think about it. They easily could have put it in Q2. They did put it in Q1. So what's next in the land? So this is, I guess, land phase 1, technically, because first one was land phase 0.5. But a more built-out marketplace, more of an interactive map, which is great, and then finally surveying. So you'll get to see what type of land your deed was. So I think this will spur some excitement, right? I think we'll see some of the rarities, some of the specific different land types. It'll be cool to start, piecing the puzzle together to functional land, which again, we'll talk about in a little bit. This next one's going to require, this top one, the Soulbound reward cards. This is going to require a separate video. It's on my list. I'll be making it. It's here. It's official. The next set of reward cards, I believe they even said potentially by the end of January, will be soulbound. Again, separate video talking about that. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. Quarterly promo card sale. I love that they're doing this. So, again, hopefully it's a DEC and voucher sync. I'm almost positive it will require vouchers. This is the whole point of vouchers, is promotions like this. I like that they're making it a regular thing, right? If we look ahead really quickly. You got one for Q1, got one for Q2, got one for Q3. They don't need to be these huge, big, marketing pushes, right, all the time. Some of them can be. Any partnerships they can loop into a quarterly promo card is a good thing. But even without that, soaking up DEC or having something that can soak up DEC and soak up vouchers on a quarterly basis, and then sort of operate as a potential marketing offshoot, where if you do a deal, you have these things you can come to them and say, hey, every quarter we release a new card. How about this upcoming quarter, we partner with you and we release a card, that involves you. So again, they don't have to do that every time, but just having that as a slot in an option to offer to marketers is a good thing. So I'm excited about this. It gives them optionality moving forward to have this on a regular basis, plus an ongoing DEC sync, voucher sync, and it'll keep the game fresh. New things to talk about, new cards to use. I like this idea. I'm glad they're doing it. And then last thing, ranked battle updates. New rule sets, what they've been slowly releasing over time, which is great. No complaints there. The more new rule sets they add, the more fresh the game feels. League rating point changes, so that's interesting. This is the first time seeing this. I don't know if they talked about this more in depth. I haven't been able to watch that town hall yet. But yeah, well, it remains to be seen what that means. And then 3 rule sets per battle. That's going to be fun. I'm excited for that. It's going to make the game, a little more challenging, make it a little harder for bots too. There's going to be a lot of things to think about. And obviously, certain combinations of rule sets can't be used together. But can you imagine every monster has thorns, every monster has return fire, every monster has magic reflect in a game? You just have to play like a bunch of reflection shield monsters. That would be fun. So again, these sort of keep the game fresh. Love it. I'm glad they're prioritizing this. All of these things here are things that I think should be priorities, right? So that's kind of what I love so much about this roadmap, is they are really hitting on all of the key things. There's nothing here that I'm angry they're spending their time on. I think all of these things are important. So then we move into Q2, and that is going to be from April 1st to April, May, end of June. There we go. So this is a build-off here of the SPS validators, right? So delegation rental markets. So you can rent SPS or rent staked SPS, however you want to word it. And that's key for this right here. They're replacing, and this is going to be a separate video, so I'm not going to get fully into that. Bulldog also talked about this today. But they're replacing collection power with SPS staking for league requirements. So right now they use collection power. I'm not a fan of collection power. It served a purpose at a time. Now I think collection power is just too cheap. I like the SPS staking system way better. I'm going to talk about it in more detail, but basically it's going to mean your ability to move up into different leagues is going to be based on 1, rating, as it currently is right now, and they're adjusting that here, so we'll see what that looks like. And 2, how much SPS you both have staked, as well as staked on you. We need more details on that. But yeah, I'm excited for that new system. Again, validator nodes, haven't paid a lot of attention to them. Player proposals honestly make me a little nervous. That's another topic for a separate video. Not going to get into that now, but this, however they handle this, I think I'm going to have some thoughts on. New player experience. Awesome. Improved tutorial, 1-click set rentals. This is awesome. We've been calling for new tutorial, new stuff for new players. I'm glad they're prioritizing it and taking it seriously. It's a big thing to do, especially as they keep changing the game. But I think it's important that they acknowledged and put it here. Be curious to see what that looks like. The 1-click set rentals is awesome. You can see that sort of builds off of group editions by set, group editions by season rentals. So think about this. Right now you buy a spell book and they give you 3,000 credits, right? What if instead you go through this amazing tutorial, learn about the game, you get out of there, and they say, hey, you have to buy this spell book, and once you do, we're going to give you a silver deck rental for this entire season for free. Maybe if there's over 10 days, they just give it to them, and if there's under 10 days, they say, hey, would you rather defer this for a week or, get it now, whatever that is. it's just a way better onboarding experience. Right now, they go through the tutorial, which is honestly fine compared to other games, but it could definitely be improved. You get spit out. You're told you have to buy this battle pass, and then you're kind of like, all right, what do I do now? Do I buy cards? How do I rent cards? With this system, maybe they give you a silver deck. You get to play for an entire season. You get to earn. You get to see what the rewards are like day over day. You get to open up all of those chests at the end of the season. You've now played with a bunch of cards. You have a Splinter that you really like. And you're now familiar more with renting cards, right? So a whole lot can be accomplished with this right here for new players. Another quarterly promo card sale. Talked about that. Great. Rooney combining. Again, I bought one Rooney just because almost the stats are great, and I think it's not going to be a terrible investment long term. Kind of just my thesis. I'm not going to be buying more. I don't think I'm going to be doing any of the combining. I just want it for the card. And it makes a nice avatar up here. So, yeah, I'm happy for people who are excited about this. Not for me. It was something that they were promised with the Rooney, so glad they're doing it. Guild alliances obviously need way more information on this, but it seems like it's just going to be a new set of stuff in guilds to give you bonuses and to eat up a bunch of DEC. So I'm for that. Not really much to talk about until we have more information, but DEC sync and just new sort of ways to play the game with guilds. Then we move on to Q3. So that is July 1 through September. So this is the first half of the year right here. We can expect all of these things in the first half of the year, according to the Splinterlands team. Then we get into Q3 here. Land Phase 2. Buildings and resources. This is when we're going to get functional land. So sometime before September. Sometime between July and September. Sounds like we are going to get functional land. That's awesome. It's cool to see a date here. Again, we'll see. It's a long way away, but it's also not that far away. So, we'll see. I'm excited. New cards. So I'm glad the Rebellion set is being pushed into Q3 at the earliest, right? So the earliest we could get it is in July. If we come here to Splinterlands and we go to shop, we have about 2.5 million chaos packs left to go. So I think it's about 100 days if it was just burning. Obviously it won't be just burning. People are going to buy packs as we get closer and closer to each airdrop. So that, it'll be about March. Somewhere in March, chaos will be done. And so what that means is April, May, June, at the least 3 months without cards. That's if they get this out right at the beginning of Q3 is Rebellion. It could be more than that. If it gets pushed into September, that's going to be 5 months without a main set release. If you weren't around last time that there was a significant period of time without a major set release, card prices went up a lot. Again, that also coincided with player growth. It was a different environment. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen again this time. I'm just saying when there's no new supply of cards coming onto the market, anyone who buys cards, combines cards, all that is doing is decreasing the supply, and there's no incoming supply to replace them. So that could be a very key period for the game. And I'm excited to see what happens. So I like that they pushed off Rebellion. As we get closer, the next questions will become how many packs are in Rebellion, how much do they cost, what's the built-in burn mechanism, a lot of details, obviously. We have months and months before this happens, which I'm happy about. SPS validators seem like this is when mainnet goes live. I haven't spent a lot of time thinking or talking about validator nodes. Happy for validator nodes holders. And then finally, skins and cosmetics. Sort of just DEC syncs. This is almost a nice to have. Basically, I'm glad that something like this, while I think is nice and useful and, it's good, is going to make the game better for sure, isn't, stuck in Q1, right? There's a lot more pressing matters than this. It's something that should happen, and I'm glad it's happening. it just kind of shows that the priorities are straight, right? There's nothing really stopping them from doing this here and spending time doing this now. But I think they realized a lot of this stuff is more important than something like this. So overall, and another thing I would mention, I like that they're not projecting out to Q4, really. To me, there's almost no purpose in doing that because you don't know what the market's going to look like. You don't know how all of these things are going to go. If some of this stuff gets delayed, if some of this stuff gets finished early, it's going to look a lot different. So I think they're being realistic. It's aggressive for sure, but I think it's realistic. I think it's doable. I think they're very focused. All of this stuff is the right stuff to be focusing on. I think it's in the right order. This got me really excited. Obviously we're in the middle of a bear market. Things have been bad. But this, in particular, this roadmap got me really excited. Curious to hear what you guys think. Let me know. Does this look good to you? What are they missing? Is this the right order? I really want to hear your thoughts. So leave a comment below. Again, if you're new to the YouTube community, it'd be awesome if you could quickly subscribe. And don't forget to like the video as well. All right, I will talk to you guys soon and see you around the game.